class today, make sure you have that study sheet out with the formulas on it. Here's example one. Everybody mark this down right here. Not this. This stuff is not for you. Just right here. I actually only have 2 examples to show you here. Everybody mark down this right here. These are S's, by the way. This is S plus T, S minus T. This is an S. This is an S. It's not a 5, it's an S. First part of the homework, there's only going to be 2 problems. From page 203, 47 and 49 are going to be just like this first example. Now watch this. You've done something similar to this earlier. There's 2 parts here. I want you to find this. I want you to find that. Now, you have it on the study sheet there, but there's the 2 formulas, the cosine of S plus T, cosine of S minus T. Remember, when you take the test on this, you will have the sheet with the formulas on it. It's giving you this. It's giving you that. Why do you always have to know the quadrant the angle's in? And you guys have known this all throughout training. Really, everybody already should know this. Why do you always have to know what quadrant the angle's in? Because what does that tell you? And
so you know if it's plus or
you know if it's plus or minus. That's that all sine tan cos law. You've been using that many times. Okay, there's 2 parts here. First part says to find this. Now here's the formula for the first part. The sine of S, you know, and the cosine of T, you know. Now, look what I'm going to do here. You know that, and you know that. You know those 2 things. So it looks like before you can use the formula, all you would have to do first is find what, somebody? You can't plug into that formula until what are the other things you need to know the value of? So you only know 2 of them. They're giving you those 2. Come on, look at the formula. What are the 2 things you don't know? Look at the formula. Add it. You've got to find the cosine of S, you've got to find the sine of T, and then the rest of it's just going to be plug everything in. Now, you did this before. If you know the sine of S, you want to find the cosine of S. How are you going to do that pretty quick? You guys forget stuff too fast. What's the one identity that I always said you use more than anything? I mean, I proved it to you so many times. What's that one identity that's used more than any other one? Comes up all the time. Dave.
sine squared plus cosine squared.
Sine squared plus cosine squared is 1, right? And aren't these the 2 alternate forms of that? Which you saw in the proving identity problems. So this is what you have to do first in this kind of a problem. This says sine of S is 3/5. Okay, I want to find cosine of S. So I'm just going to plug into that first. So what you would write in your paper is you would go cosine squared of S equals, now mark this down, 1 minus sine squared of S. What's sine squared? I gave you sine. You've done something like this earlier. You all did something similar to this earlier in training. This is just all algebra, boys. Cosine squared is 1 minus sine squared. So cosine squared is 1 minus Ethan. 9/25. And then I'm gonna come back to this. Right next to this, there's cosine of t. Well, I wanna find sine of t. So sine squared of t is, look, 1 minus cosine squared of t. 1 minus, what's cosine squared of t gonna be? If that's negative 12/13. Just square it. Dave,
Negative 140, no,
Oh.
144 over 169. Isn't it 169?
okay. Now, just get a common denominator here. What's 1 minus 9/25? That's 25/25 minus 9/25. What's that? Just arithmetic. Jack. And this one right next to it. What's 1 minus 144 over 169? Look, this is 169 over 169. What's 169 minus 144? Ethan? No.
Oh, 25.
25 169. So what do I have to do to both of those right now? You should be sitting there going, you've done something similar to this earlier on in the trick. So all I gotta do to both of those to get the two answers is, Nick, square root of both sides, right? So cosine of s equals, okay, now this is where you gotta watch your signs. It said s and t are in quadrant 2. So will this be the positive square root or the negative? Cosine, quadrant 2. Come on, you guys should be pros at this stuff by now. Joe?
Negative.
So negative 4/5, right? Okay, so you got that one. And take the square root of both sides of these. What's that gonna be? Mike?
5/13.
Positive, right? The sign's positive in the second quadrant. Now, does anyone have a question on that? Okay, now, these two problems, you'll get to them today. On page 203, just like this. It's gonna say, find this, and it's gonna give you info. So the first thing you gotta do is find the missing information. Do you see right now? You all see, you know all them things now? So there's two parts to these. So you can come over here now, in your notebook, write down cosine of s plus t now equals, and then right next to that you can put cosine of s minus t equals, now somebody tell me, all I'm gonna do right now is what? For both those formulas. All I'm gonna do right now is, Rob, put everything in. So here we go. Cosine of s is negative 4/5 times cosine of t, negative 12/13, minus sine of s is 3/5. I'm just putting in all these things. Sine of t is 5/13. Now, when you go over here, these are all gonna be the same substitutions. What's the only thing that's gonna be different? That's a plus there. You see the only difference in the formulas? This one's a plus. So this is gonna be negative 4/5 times negative 12/13 plus sine of s is 3/5 times the sine of t is 5/13. Now, the rest of this is just all basic simplifying. Somebody want to tell me what to do to continue? What are you going to do next, right here? This is normal rules of order now. Oh boy, come on, this is just basic simplifying now. What are you going to do with this? And what are you going to do with that? Right there. What are you going to do? Oh my, Ethan. Times them. What's negative 4/5 times negative 12/13? Just multiply. Mike,
48 over 65.
positive, right?
Yeah.
positive 48 over 65. Now, will the next part be plus or minus after that? So you gotta watch your signs here. Dave?
It'll be plus.
No, it'll be minus whatever this is, right? Negative times a positive makes negative. This will be minus, won't it?
Oh, I thought it was -3.
Okay. Now, let's see how smart you are here. Watch this. I know them fives cancel, right? But you know what? I don't want to cancel them. Now, come on, somebody tell me why. So you got to be smart here. I know I could cancel. Somebody could say, well, the fives cancel. You're right, they do. But you know what? I don't want to cancel them here. Why? Max.
To keep the 65.
You're going to have to get a common denominator anyway, right? So what's this? So what fraction is that right there? Multiply. Add.
15/65.
And then over here, this is going to be 48 65ths plus 15 65ths. Now, I'm only going to give you 2 of these for homework. What's 48 65ths minus 15 65ths? Just subtract. Got it. Just put 48 65ths. Say it again. 33 65ths. Can you reduce that? You cannot. So there's the answer to that part. And what's this?
63 65.
63 65ths. Okay, that's the first part of today.